Thank you for browsing page 121. Today we're going to take a look at Challenge Magazine number 44, now 96 pages. It was the magazine of science fiction gaming from Game Designers Workshop. I always love GDW stuff. In this issue we get Twilight 2000 Crossburn, Megatraveller Operation Flashfire, and Shadowrun Squeeze Play by Michael Stackpole. Met Michael Stackpole at Adepticon back in March. Nice guy. First thing we see when we open the cover is an ad for Megatraveller. Megatraveller was the current issue of, or current edition of Traveller, and I played Megatraveller an awful lot in the late 80s, early 90s. And then we have an ad for Challenge Magazine. I always like the way the spaceship is flying out of the ad. Yes, I want to subscribe to Challenge. Both of these were out of Bloomington, Illinois. Oddly enough, I never subscribed to Challenge or Dragon. I just went to the stores and bought them. But I was lucky in that we had a lot of stores in the area that carried this stuff. So there we get the table of contents for Challenge Magazine. And this guy was published, it's always hard to, in 1990. So it's only 34 years young as of the making of this video. So we get the fine table of contents. We even get a look at some Battletech in here. And then we get no editorial from the management, and then letters from our readers. Then we get a long adventure, Crossburn, for Twilight 2000. I did play some Twilight 2000 under a GM. I didn't run it. It was good. We liked it. But honestly, post-apocalyptic stuff, we were more in the Gamma World camp. But I did use some of the stuff for Twilight 2000 for Gamma World. And even for some Traveller stuff. You know, having a little camp map and things like that. Very handy to use for different role-playing games. A very long adventure. There's the key to the map. And then we get Falling Fragments, Twilight 2000, talking about satellites that are no longer being serviced properly and starting to fall from orbit. That's kind of a neat idea. I've used that in Gamma World a few times. And Challenge Conventions. Where were you in 1990 for all these various conventions that are going on? Gen Con 1990, August 9th through the 12th. I did not go to Gen Con that year. And then we have an ad for, with IHC's Rocco mini tanks, half the battles won, from International Hobby Corp out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Then we got Operation Flashfire. This is for Megatraveller. Nice little adventure for Megatraveller. I liked reading these back in the day because they gave us some insight as to how the rebellion was going. Just kind of neat. Plus, I like a good Traveller adventure. And then we get an ad for Traveller in Spanish. Yeah, looks like it. Traveller's, the original Traveller and Megatraveller were translated into quite a few languages from Game Designers Workshop. Continuing the Megatraveller adventure, we have Quest Games out of Clifton, New Jersey. Discounts on new games from all the best publishers. New for Megatraveller, detailed Starship deck plans in 25mm. I have the lab ship. I like that one. Seeker did some nice stuff for Traveller. Finishing out our adventure. Almost finished. We finish it here. And then we get another ad for Megatraveller, but this is Digest Group Publications. Their stuff was outstanding. In my opinion, it was pretty much the best stuff being put out in the late 80s to early 90s. And it's a shame it's under lock and key and not being shared with the world. Unfortunately, in having read a few of these in the last few years, they are showing their age a little bit. So whoever owns the copyright, fair warning, they're starting to get past their prime. And then we get the Ultimate Megatraveller Adventure by Phil Morrissey, a little Traveller comic strip. And this is part 1. And Lost Treasure Ships of the Abyss Rift from the Central Spinward Marches, also for, is this Megatraveller or Traveller? Should be Megatraveller. That's kind of neat. I'm going to have to actually sit down and reread this. It's been a while. I realize that not all this stuff is necessarily canon anymore, but I don't care. And then we go to the Origins Awards from 1989. the best at whatever you do. And there is Traveler News Service. Love Traveler News Service. I wish there was something like this around now. This was in the magazine, started in the original Journal of Travelers Aid Society, then carried on through here, and then was carried on by Steve Jackson Games for years in the late 90s, early 2000s. I miss TNS. Then we have the Nullian League for Megatraveller by Charles Gannon. This is kind of neat. It's a little polity in the era of the rebellion. I always like getting stuff like this. Nice little backdrop for your adventures. Portfolio of patrons for intelligent contracts in the Hinterworlds. Again, for Megatraveller. That's pretty cool. Lots of Megatraveller in this issue. And then we get Battlescape. The Revolution enters a new phase. Battlescape. This stuff was so sought after in the late 80s, early 90s. Battletech. Hex grid maps. Now they're common. Then they were unheard of. Buck Rogers, Step into the World of Tomorrow by TSR Incorporated. They really pushed Buck Rogers hard. I never really bought any of this stuff for Buck Rogers. Let me know if you did, if it was any good. And then Challenge Showcase. These are Rocco tanks, the mini tank line from the International Hobby Corp of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's kind of neat. What scale are these? 20 millimeter. That's a strange choice. Okay. The Windsinger Saga. And this is for... what game? Oh, it's the Windsinger... what game is this? Interesting. I think it's 2300. Okay. And then Caravan to Tirn. Are you brave enough to make the dangerous trek across the desert? Can you face the depredations of desert raiders, the evil supernatural creatures lurking in hidden oases? This is from Flying Buffalo Incorporated in Scottsdale, Arizona. Subscribe to White Wolf, 12 issues for only $22. Boy, this was a long time ago. Out of Anniston, Alabama. Never did buy White Wolf. The new Twilight 2000. They had updated the rule set a little bit by this time. It had been out for a few years. I think Twilight 2000 came out around 86 or so. So here we have a new ad for it. And from Game Designers Workshop, of course. And then we have Black Market. Black Market, let's see. Oh, this has got to be 2300 also. 2300 AD, yep. Social Class in 2300 AD. Used to be known as Traveler 2300. By this time they had dropped the Traveler out of it because it really had nothing to do with Traveler. They were just trying to trade on their own name. And then GDW product distribution around the world. Yes, it was all over the place. And Highland. Also for 2300. The Near Now. Repeat. Is anyone receiving this message? Torg. The Possibility Wars have begun. I almost bought into Torg from West End Games out of Honesdale, Pennsylvania. I came very, very close, but at the time I was, we were expecting our first child, so I decided not to put the money in. If anybody did play Torg, let me know how it went. It always looked kind of intriguing to me. Continuing our 2300 adventure. Continuing on again. Some of the 2300 stuff did work for Traveler. And then that's the end of the article. We get feedback results from Challenge 42. They would basically ask you to rate the articles, and then they would show you how the articles rated, and what was popular and what was not popular. Then we get an ad for Air Power, the Journal of Air Combat Gaming, out of LaGrange, Georgia. New for 2300, detailed starship plans from Seeker, out of Mount Home, Idaho. And an Armored Assault from Iron Crown Enterprises. I do have this one. I've got to get around to rereading the rules. I played it years ago, but it's been a long time. Then we have Squeeze Play, a Shadowrun short story, copyright 1989 by Michael Stackpole. Michael Stackpole was everywhere in writing at the time. He's writing the Battletech novels, and then went on to write in the mid-90s, write some Star Wars novels that were very, very good. When I met him, I mentioned the Star Wars novels, and he seemed surprised that anybody brought that up. I liked them. I thought they were good. I think it was Rogue Squadron that he wrote. Continuing on our Michael Stackpole Shadowrun. I'll show this to my son Adam. He's played some Shadowrun. He might be interested in reading this short story. And then we finish the short story, and now we can enlist now for a new style of adventure. How many times have you played a war game, read a history book, or seen a war movie and said to yourself, what was it like to go over the top? I don't think I ever want to know. Out of Cape Girardeau in Missouri. Shadow Tiger, a Shadowrun adventure encounter. And then Jetpacks, the great pick-me-up from Star Wars. They obviously had Gravtech in Star Wars. I was always surprised that they had jetpacks, but what the heck. It's still fun. Warhammer by the numbers, statistical balance in Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. I'm showing that to Adam too. Still not sure what the Ides of March means to you. Is your favorite team trying to hold on to last place with a vengeance? Now is your chance to cut loose with Space Combat, a game of pure tactical combat from Twin Engine Gaming in San Jose, California. And Challenge Briefs. These are essentially personal ads. You could go ahead and put an ad in here and maybe somebody would buy something you had for sale. Otspug Grub, mini scenario campaign for Warhammer 40k. That's interesting. And it's the CST-3S Cestus technical data readout for heavy battle mech. Battle mechs were so cool. Late 80s, early 90s. That's when I got into Battletech, right around 89 to 90. I came in with the clans, so right in that era. Looking for something different? The Canadian Wargamers Journal out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Share the Adventures, High Colonies, the science fiction role-playing game. This also, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. So, from our neighbors to the north. Challenge Reviews, Torg. Interesting. I might actually read this and see what everybody thought of Torg 34 years ago. Like I said, I came very, very close to the point I even had one in my hand to buy, and then I got a kind of a cheap attack because, again, we had a baby on the way, so I decided not to spend the money. Challenge Classifieds. You get to go ahead and sell some stuff or looking for gamers for your group before the internet. This is how you did it. To the Adventures of Tomorrow. Voyages from Starlines Publications in Mesa, Washington, and We Are the Future of Play-by-Mail Gaming, the Next Empire from Cyborg Games out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And then we get the challenge review article, the feedback that would appear in the next issue. And the next issue, what's going to be in it? It's going to be Twilight 2000, Megatraveller, 2300, Space 1889, and more. Yeah, there wasn't any Space 1889 in this one. In my opinion, by Mark Miller. And then we get an ad for Shadowrun Street Samurai Catalog. And then the back page is Megatraveller 1. The Zodani Conspiracy. Oh, I bought this eagerly back in the day. And put it into my old computer and played the heck out of it. I enjoyed this game. A lot of fun. I don't know if there's any version of this that's out there that's still playable or not. I still have the one I had. But I don't know if there's any version that you can actually play, because what I have won't play on my computer, of course. From Paragon Software out of Hunt Valley, Maryland. So there you have it. Just an all too brief look at Challenge 44. I loved Challenge. It came out almost monthly. It was out like 8 or 9 times a year. At $3 1/4, it was a little more expensive than Dragon, but I always thought it was worth it. And again, I had a ton of hobby stores in the area. So if ever I missed an issue, I was able to just go to some hobby store and find it and build up my collection that way. So I do miss those days. I miss the days when I could just jump in the car and go hit 5 or 6 hobby stores, all within easy driving distance of my house. Most of them, unfortunately, are gone. In some cases, even the buildings are gone. But doesn't stop me from longing for the good old days. So let me know what you think about Challenge Magazine and about where you were in 1990. And that's all I've got for today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this retrospect on challenge number 44. And if you did, please leave some comments. Let me know if you want to see some more of these. And that's it for today on page 121. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.